morning, guys and gals. Welcome back to another one. Today what we're going to do is I'm going to do an update on the, I'm not sure if you can, raised garden beds. So in the last video I gave a quick what my plans were for the yard and gardens and whatnot, and I've had a few requests for showing these garden beds, which I intended to do anyway. I just didn't mention in the video because it's me. So we're going to try to make a short video here. I'm not gonna film the whole thing and bore everybody to death, but I am going to kind of do a Reader's Digest version, and I'll show you what it looks like. Stick around. Let's get this show on the road. Okay, guys, so I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I do live in town, albeit kind of on the outskirts of our little town here, but there will be some road noise, probably some wind noise. Can't really do a whole lot about it. So, how to get started here. I'm not an expert, and I saw, different variations of this from different YouTubers and just kind of winged it and went ahead and made my own. So basically what you're gonna need first to start off with is a skid, and then sorry, having my morning coffee, guys. I'm gonna lift this up. I think you'll be able to see it right here. Is just chicken wire, and I put that on the bottom or on the top of the skid, and that's going to help from the weight of the topsoil and gardening soil from folding the filter cloth down through the slats. So that's basically really all the chicken wire is for. So I'll set up the next part and then we'll see you in a second. Okay, guys, so what I'm doing is we're using 4x4 posts that I've cut to 3 feet as our legs. So we've got the skid flipped over. I've measured in 4 inches from this end 2x4, just roughly. I'm not too concerned about it, and I'm not a finished carpenter. So we're gonna get those cut and those chunks knocked out, and that'll give us space to put our 4x4 posts and screw them in. So headphone warning. We'll knock those out and get back to you. Okay, guys, so we got those chunks knocked out. Got my 2x4 here. If I got you guys, might work better. And we're just setting it up so it's on top of this first board and into the end board here. We're going to screw it in from the top, and then I have a brace I put across there. Like I said, only the size of a skid. It's for a garden bed, doesn't have to be super fancy. So I'm going to get out my precision level, and that looks pretty good to me. So we're going to just like that. These skids aren't perfect. They're not even square. So like I said, if you're gonna worry about the details of being super perfect on everything, you're gonna have a bad day. So I'm gonna continue on with this part, and we'll be back in a minute. As you can see, I just used some 3-inch deck screws to put the legs on. Now we're gonna flip it over so we can continue with the build. Okay, guys, got it flipped over. Now we're gonna take that 1x6 pressure treated. We're gonna cut it to length, and I'm gonna stand it on top like that, so we lose a little bit of height, but it gives me something to screw into at a couple of different points. So we'll get these cut and we'll be back. Okay, so The width end on these things is 40 inches, so I've measured out the board. Got my precision square. Just gonna cut these down to length. Headphone warning again. And then we're going to take and attach them like that all the way around. So stick around, we'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, I've got my helper out here with me now. So all I'm doing is kind of, instead of relying on trying to get into here and having these split, I'm just kind of angling them down into the 2x4 base. So and of course I hit a nail. Nails are a pain in the butt, but when you're getting skids and at the price they are, free, I'm not going to complain too much. Okay, so I'll continue on and we'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay guys, so we've got the sides all up now. The next step is I'm going to take a 2x4 to put across here just to stiffen the legs up a little bit, and then we'll get to the filter cloth. So stick around and we'll get that part done and we'll be back with you. Okay, so we got those cut. We've got them fairly flush here. I'm just going to get out the precision level again. Looks pretty good. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that kind of funny noise when you're putting the screw in. You want to hear that. That strips the screw out so you can't get it apart again. Pro tip. Okay, now we'll get on to the filter cloth. Okay guys, so we've cut our filter cloth, laid it out so that it comes up the sides and over the top. We'll trim that off after. And we're just taking our staple gun with the T50 half-inch staples and going around the inside just to hold the filter cloth in place until the dirt's in. So, and what we like to do is start in the middle and kind of work your way out. It's not super important, but it does help it so it doesn't collapse in on you when you're trying to put the dirt in. So we're not going to get carried away with the staples. It's really just to hold it until the soil's in. So we'll get this part done, we'll get it trimmed out, and we'll go from there. Okay, so now you can see stapled all the way around. Haven't bothered stapling the bottom, obviously. We're going to be putting our mulch and soil in there, so that'll hold that down. There's our 2x4s just to help with a little bit of stability. You can see what I've done there. I mean, you could take a lot more time with this, but the reality of it is it's not going to go anywhere. It's sturdy enough. You're not putting loads of dirt into there, so the weight isn't an issue. You can beef these up with crossers if you want to. I've already got one built and it's holding everything fine. And this is going to work really well for those veggies and stuff that don't need a lot of soil depth. So we're We are going to be putting things like radish, peas, beans, probably, that sort of thing. Things that don't require a deep root system. So not great for carrots or potatoes, but for the other stuff, lettuce will grow in here really well, you know, peppers, that kind of thing. We do have a little sort of a, sorry about the wind, guys, but we take these old flower pots, and I don't know if you can see that, but there's some onions coming up that we planted already. Sorry about my shadow, guys. So we do things like that for onions. We use pails and buckets for tomatoes because they just take up a lot of space in the garden. And you know, a few tomato plants goes a long way. You don't need 500 tomato plants, or at least I don't anyway. So anyway, we're gonna get this relocated and we'll be back with you. Okay guys, so I messed up. Apparently the camera was set to slow motion. So I'm not making you sit through 9 minutes of slow motion watching us put, but what I did was I just put a small layer, just, you know, yo deep kind of thing, just for drainage, of this mulch in the bottom. And then we added a 50-pound bag of a garden mix soil. And then I topped it up with the triple mix soil that you saw the pile in the yard. I topped it up with that. So this is kind of what you end up with. And I've sort of like overfilled it just a little bit because it's going to settle. And before we put the seedlings in, we will top it up again once it settles out, and then we'll plant. So I mean, you could put the seeds in and then top it up around as they're sprouting up a little bit. That wouldn't hurt them either, but so either way it'll work. But anyway guys, that is 2 out of the 3 raised beds that we've made. And the third one I'll get to here shortly, but we're trying to beat the rain. And that's that. I tried to keep this video kind of short for you guys. I hope it was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember to subscribe and like and share and comment. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I can't thank you enough. We're gonna keep kicking out videos. So remember guys, it's never a bad day to be more outdoors.